Hi, my name is Ethel Brown. I am the Interim Director for Weatherization. Welcome to the Weatherization Program. The overall goal of the program is focused on and dedicated to energy savings. Our mandate from the U.S. Department of Energy requires that all measures installed in your home result in energy savings for you. Cedar Weatherization can only provide services to our clients when we can prove energy savings for them. There has been some changes in the weatherization program, which may impact the services we provide. ASHRAE 62.2, air sealing, is an important part of energy savings, and with recent DOE mandates of better energy savings for weatherization customers, we are redoubling our efforts to air seal customer homes. To achieve our stated energy saving goals and still maintain healthy indoor air quality, Cedar Weatherization will be installing ultra-quiet, energy-efficient ventilation fans in the majority of customer homes. Combustion safety. As always, health and safety is a primary goal when Cedar provides energy efficiency services to you through the weatherization program. Specifically, we are concerned with combustion safety and indoor air quality. Cedar will test the heating appliances and hot water heater in your home for efficiency and safe operating conditions. Your home will be assessed by our certified field staff, and the audit will be entered into the state database to determine which measures will yield energy savings. We strive to provide long-term cost savings to families. Weatherization efforts actually creates healthier, sometimes even life-saving environments. Please call our 800 number, 1-800-571-2332. Again, welcome to the Weatherization Program. Thank you.
My name is Jennifer Wallace-Lewis. I'm supervisor of the scheduling department here at Cedar Weatherization. In the scheduling department, we're in charge of receiving the approved field files from the intake department. Once we receive those approved clients, we schedule the assessments for the client so the assessor can go in the home and do a general assessment of the home and what is needed for weatherization in that home.
Hello, may I speak with Addie? Addie? Hi Addie, it's Eddie with Cedar Weatherization. How are you? I'm doing well. The reason of the call today,
we set appointments for assessors because we'd like to try to do as many clients in a day as possible. Therefore, we are making sure the client is home. We're making sure that the client is ready for the assessor, that all the utilities are on, and that they are aware that we need to access all parts of the home.
So we want to make sure that somebody is home. I can only have a phone number here. 773.
Schedule calls. They're going to do an introduction of themselves and the department that they're representing. They're going to make sure that the utilities are on, so we do need both the gas and electric utilities to be running at the time of assessment.
Now, do you have gas and electricity on the first floor?
They're also going to give a general brief description of what's entailed in the assessment, what the assessor's going to do.
Arrival time is between 8 and 10 a.m. It takes 4 to 6 hours to do the actual assessment, and we do need access for the whole building, meaning basement, first floor, second floor, attic, your bedrooms, hot water tank, furnace, and the exterior of the home. Okay?
And making sure there's someone 18 or over, or the owner of the home, and be available for any questions that they might have at that time. We do set appointments during the day, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays.
All right, so then we're all set, Margot. This will be Tuesday, March 6th, between 8 and 10 a.m., okay?
Right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
For either early in the morning, so between 8 and 10 arrival of the assessor, or for later in the afternoon between 11 and 1 generally for the assessor. The assessor does do 2 assessments a day.
I'm James Cathy. I'm the assessor supervisor with the weatherization program. Okay, when the assessor gets to their home, what he want to do is kind of get an overview of the whole house. So what we want to do is a series of tests. What's most important is health and safety, and then we want to look at your furnace work or boiler, and then we want to look at the air sealing and insulation of the house. So first we want to do is we want to keep the client safe. So we want to definitely look at your smoke and carbon dioxide detectors, making sure they're working properly. And then we want to do a gas leak test. We want to make sure all your gas appliances has no leakage in all the appliances. In the combustion safety test, what we want to do is making sure that hot water tank vents out properly out the chimney when we turn on all your appliances, i.e. the furnace, any exhaust fans in the house, in the kitchen or the bathroom, and then also your clothes dryer. We want to turn all the appliances on and make sure that hot water tank draft properly out the house.
We're going to test this for spillage, and which means, do we have combustion gases coming back at us under worst case? I'm going to take the smoke puffer here. If it's not spilling, the smoke will go right up the chimney. If it is spilling, the smoke's going to come right back at me. And you'll see this on the test. The smoke is coming right back at me. We have spillage.
The furnace and hot water tank, we want to make sure it's safe. So we want to test for carbon dioxide. We want to test for efficiency and making sure they draft properly out the chimney. So we use a device called the testo. We want to put that testo into the furnace flue pipe and also the hot water tank flue pipe. And that pipe is the pipe leading to your chimney. So we want to make sure the combustion gases is efficient and making sure they're drafting properly up out the chimney. So if it is carbon dioxide, we want to make sure that carbon dioxide is leaving the home. Blower door test, what we want to do is we want to make sure the house is nice and tight. So what that test do is test for the leakiness of the house. So what we do is put a big fan up to the front door and draw air out the house. We want to depressurize the house, suck all the air out the house so we know where that cold air is coming in. A device called the manometer, and that manometer tests the pressure in reference from the outside to the inside of your house. The blower door gives us an initial number of amount of air leakage in the house. What the assessor does is record that number, and the goal of weatherization is to bring that number down. So we want to air seal that house nice and tight. So we want to keep that warm air in the house in the wintertime and also keep the cool air in the house in the summertime. Air sealing, it goes back to weatherization. What we want to do is save energy in the client's home. Definitely save money on that gas and light bill. So after all the work is done, the client will see a difference in their gas and light bill. So what we want to do is try to tighten up that house as much as we can to keep the heat in the house. So what happens is the home has a lot of bypasses in it. What bypasses are is large holes within the outside thermal boundary of the house. The thermal boundary is the reference between the outside and the inside of the house. On your walls, your basement walls, your first floor or second floor walls, and then your attic walls. So the attic walls is the ceiling of the house. So we want to air seal that each area of that house, you know, from the attic to your outside walls and to the basement walls. So the assessor also check for the electrical uses in the house. What they look for is the energy light bulbs in the house. We want to replace your incandescent bulbs with the energy efficient light bulbs, and also the refrigerator. We want to upgrade the refrigerator to a more energy efficient refrigerator. The difference between light heap and weatherization, light heap goal is to help you with your gas and light bill every year. Weatherization want to do is keep that gas and light bill down so you won't have to apply for light heat every year.
Hello, my name is Jamie Swice, and I'm the manager of the Contractor Relations Department here at CETA. Our department fits into this whole process as sort of the traffic cops. We assign jobs. We have our own teams of contractors that we track and make sure that they're producing and handing things in. The contract appointment is set up by the contractor themselves. They are issued a number of jobs, and then their offices will call the client to set up the appointment. They'll, of course, state who they are. My office also does change orders. If something at the house has changed, or the contractor gets into something he's supposed to do and says, okay, but before I do this, I have to do that, then they send what's called a change order to my office, and my staff go over it to see if it complies with all of the standards and if it's in budget, and then they will execute a change order. As far as what training and certifications the contractors have to have, it has become very sophisticated, and they are trained in how to appropriately install insulation, to test for the health and safety of the home, how the combustion appliances interact with the house. The work order that the contractor gets is created by the assessor, and he goes out to the house, and they're all trained. They've had hours and hours and hours of training, and they essentially write down everything that they deem that the house needs. Now, of course, you can't have it all, so they enter it into a computer, and then the computer kind of triages. They take the most important things first and go down the line. The typical things that our agency does, the three important things, is the health and safety. That means that all of the combustion products are operating safely. Air sealing, we try to keep the air, either the cold air or the hot air, from coming in the house, depending on if it's cold outside or hot outside. And then we insulate the house to keep the conditioned air, the air that you have paid to heat or cool, stay in the house as long as possible.
My name is Freddie Golden. I'm the manager of the Final Inspection Department for CETA Weatherization. The purpose of a final inspection is to ensure that the measures that were called on the work order were installed in the house correctly, and that the billing matches the work order, and that all things installed on the home were installed per our state standards. Depending on when the final inspection makes it to the client's house, depending on what the work order consists of, he or she will look at what's on the work order to make sure it was installed correctly, and also ensure that there were no other items needed to make the house up to our state standards. It's important to allow a final inspector access to your home. First of all, just to ensure that all the measures that the contractor installed on the home were installed correctly. Also to ensure that the home is safe and up to our standards, and that the home has been is energy efficient. Once that is complete, the warranty starts, which is important because that's 1 year of assurance that whatever work we provided is covered. Also, it's a ways of us checking to make sure that all items on the house were installed correctly, safely, up to our standards. The final inspection process typically takes anywhere from an hour and a half to 2.5 hours per inspection, depending on what the work order entails.
Okay. My name is Kenyatta Parker. I am the lead customer service representative for the Cedar Weatherization Customer Service Department. The process for the Weatherization Customer Service Department is the client will call the 1-800-571-CEDA, which is located at our main call center here at the 208 South LaSalle location. The call will come through and be answered by one of our call center agents in the main call center.
Good morning. Thank you for calling the Illinois Live Heap Hotline. My name is Annie. My ID number is 21. How can I help you today?
They will try and answer the client's call with using the frequently asked question sheet that was provided to them by the Weatherization Customer Service Department. If the issue cannot be resolved using the frequently asked question sheet, then the call center agent will send a e-form to the Weatherization Customer Service. Once we receive that e-form, we will give the client a call back as soon as possible.
Definitely, I definitely understand, and I am listening to everything.
But before that, we will look up the information and try and figure out what the problem is and how can we resolve this issue. Once we give the client a call, we will discuss the issue with the client and come up with a resolution. If we can't resolve that resolution once we call them, the information is logged into our SharePoint database and then sent over to the department who will be handling the issue as a task in our SharePoint database. Once the department receives that task, they will try to resolve the issue as quickly as possible and give the client a call back and go out and check it and make sure that everything is to the satisfactory of the client.